Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Raptoid Def, and today I'm going to be talking about why I think people fail the FE exam. Now, I took the FE Civil, but this advice is really applicable to all FEs in general. Whether you're taking the exam for the first time or taking it again, the main purpose of this video is I want to give you my best advice so that you can apply it to your own studies and pass the FE. Let's get into it. So the first thing that you need to do before doing anything else is download the reference manual. Everyone is given the reference manual on the actual FE exam. You can search through it. You're given a search bar. And of course, make sure you do this. It'll save you a lot of time on the exam. But the reason why I stress downloading the reference manual is because you need to become acquainted with it. You have to know where the different topics are on the FE, and you have to know what is included in each topic. The manual has a plethora of formulas, equations, and concepts. And just knowing where these things are before going into the actual exam will put you in a really good standing. I can't imagine going into the exam not knowing the reference manual well. For me, that would stress me out. I would waste so much time just looking through it if I didn't know where the things were already. So getting to know this manual is so critical, and it's something that you need to do. Whether you're doing practice problems or whether you just have some free time, look through it, get to know it, and understand it well. So once you've downloaded the reference manual, what I would recommend is kind of determining a plan you want to follow for your studies. Now, some people buy the Lindenberg books, which are pretty good. Comes with a lot of concepts and practice problems. Some people go to YouTube and watch videos, tutorials on how to, solve different problems and kind of brush up on the different concepts for each section. Personally, for me, I highly recommend taking a review course. I took the School of PE Civil Review course, and I can't stress how much I liked it. The passing rate for first-time takers of the FE Civil exam is around 69%. After taking the School of PE FE Civil Review course, the passing rate for first-time takers is 91%. You can tell how much of a difference it is when you prepare using the review course. They have a live version and an on-demand version for the School of PE. Now, I took the on-demand version. I was given all of the live videos. Of course, they were recorded, so I couldn't ask the professor or anything, but you can always email them. You just can't type in the chat box, obviously. But you're given all those videos, you're given tons of practice problems and all the notes, and they really go over everything you need to know. Nothing more, nothing less. I felt really confident going into the FE once I finished taking this course. It is based on a monthly subscription, so before taking the course, before obviously putting money into it, determine which subjects you need to study. Whether you've been out of school for a while or you're still in school, I'm sure there's subjects you're stronger in than others, so determine which ones you feel more confident in, and the ones that you don't feel as confident in, allocate more time to studying those. Also keep in mind some subjects on the FE are weighted more. So for example, geotechnical engineering has about 8 to 12 questions on the exam compared to something like dynamics, which has like 4 to 6. So keep that in mind. Make sure you put a lot of time into those subjects that hold the most weights on the exam. Now, once you've developed your plan, whether you're going to use YouTube videos or take the review course or study from review books, you have to make a schedule and you have to stick to it. That is so important. When I first started studying, I was pretty lazy. I didn't want to study every day. I didn't want to put in a certain amount of time, and you just have to do it. If you want to pass the FE, you have to put in the time. So determine how many days a week you can study for. Determine how many hours you can study for, and stick to it. I recommend studying at least 1 to 2 topics each week. For the FE Civil, there's 16 topics. So if you study around 1 to 2 topics each week, that includes watching all the videos you need, looking over all the notes, and doing as many practice problems as you can. You got to figure that's about 2 to 4 months, which is what I recommend, how much time you should study. Of course, everyone's different, but you shouldn't be studying just for a week. There's too much information to learn. And I don't think you should study for like a year or 8 months, something kind of long like that, because that probably means you're not putting enough time in the present. You're not really pressuring yourself enough. And by the time you're out into that 8-month mark, you might forget what you first started studying. So try to keep it, a set schedule and stick to it. And that's just really important. Now, tying into the schedule, the next thing I want to mention is your study environment. I've talked to people, and even my own personal experiences, it's hard for me to study in my own room. There's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of things going on. What worked best for me was going out to a library, leaving all my distractions behind, and putting myself in just an environment which I can learn and grow and study in. You also want to put yourself in an environment which you enjoy being in, because if you don't enjoy being in that certain place in which you study, you're putting a negative connotation on your studies themselves, and that's going to make you not want to study. I mean, plain and simple. So make sure you're going into an environment which you enjoy being in, and that could promote studying. The next thing I want to talk about is doing practice problems. Do as many problems as you can. They are so important. Especially, who knows? You might go into the exam and see a problem you've already seen before. That is possible. The more problems that you do, the better prepared you'll be. It's plain and simple. Now, I want to really stress this point. This is something I struggled with when I first started studying. If you don't know how to do a practice problem, don't just look towards the solution. I did this at first and I thought, wow, I'm really starting to get to know how to solve these problems. No, I was just cheating myself. What you should be doing is struggling with the problem. Just do whatever you can to kind of get yourself on some pathway to solving it. What I recommend, if you don't know how to do it, use the reference manual. Look up some keywords in the question itself and see where that'll lead you. Maybe that'll lead you to the right equation or concept, and right there and then you can solve it. Of course, you don't want to be spending 30 minutes on one question. If it gets to I really don't know how to do this, look towards the solution, and then maybe the next day do the problem over and see if you can solve it, because that'll show you if you actually understand how to do it. Keep in mind, we're engineers here. We are problem solvers. This is what we do. So don't go right towards the solution if you don't know how to solve a problem. Struggle with it, use the reference manual, and see where that takes you. Okay, so now I want to talk about scheduling the actual exam. You can take it in the morning, you can take it at 12 o'clock noon, I think slightly after noon. There's a few times throughout the day which you could take the exam. Now for me, I took it around noon and I was ready to go. I did not want to take it at 8 o'clock in the morning. Of course, if you're not a morning person, don't do that. Determine when you're at your peak energy level and go for that. Keep in mind the slots do fill up, so plan a few weeks in advance, sign up for it, and just make sure you're ready to go at that time, and that's the time you want to take it at. Okay, now I want to talk about time management, and this is beyond important when you're actually taking the real exam. Let me break this down for you. The FE exam is 6 hours long. You're given a tutorial in the beginning, and you're also given a 25-minute break, which is optional in between each section. There are 2 sections. I highly recommend taking the break, but that'll be up to you. In total, there are 110 questions. If you break this down, you're given about 3 minutes per question. This is very important, and I want to stress this. You are not penalized for getting a question incorrect on the exam. I think it was the SAT in which if you got a question wrong, it would hurt you, but this is not like that. You must solve or put an answer for every question on this exam. If you spend more than 3 minutes per question, you are running the risk of not being able to solve or get to every question on the exam. It is speculated that you need at least a 60 to a 65% or higher to pass the FE civil exam. I'm not sure how this fluctuates for the mechanical, electrical, chemical, environmental exams, but it's probably in a similar range. This means you do not need to get every question correct to pass it, of course. So what I want to stress and recommend to you, if you're approaching the 3-minute mark on one question, put your best guess, make sure you answer it and flag it. Later on, if you finish that section and you have more time, you can go back to the flag questions, put a little more time into them, and see if you want to change your answer or not. But please don't spend 7 minutes on one question. If you're getting to that point, you probably don't know how to solve it, to be honest. I mean, these questions aren't supposed to take more than 3 minutes. So keep that in mind, and I hope you take that advice. It's really important. Well, that's pretty much all the advice that I have for you. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, it goes a long way. And please subscribe to the channel for more content coming to you. Let me end this video by saying this. If you have failed the FE exam, it is perfectly okay. You are allowed to take this as many times as you want for good reason. This is a challenging exam. There's a lot to it. And some of us are not simply the best test takers, and that's okay. I firmly believe that failure is an initial step to success. Lastly, believe in yourself. I believe in you. Keep working hard. Keep studying. You will pass the FE. You will. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Raptoid Death. And until the next time, stay beautiful. Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, DeLurchlessMonster.